All right. So, what started as a discussion with Dima Proc about a better way to hold jackets for trimming because he's into swaging um, resulted in well, this. Yeah. Um, there's a fine line between genius and insanity. I'm not sure which side of the line this is on, but for the sake of my sanity, I'm gonna go with genius. Yeah. Um. Anyway, what happened was, I'd mentioned a better way to hold these things, and he came up with making a collet for the Forster trimmer. So he made himself one, said he could make me one. We did a little horse trading, and I'm very happy. This thing works phenomenally well. Nice, square case mouse. That's what he made me. It's aluminum, and it works really well. Now, I had to buy a Forster trimmer. When I was originally looking at these, I just couldn't justify the price. These things are over $100, and that does not include cullets or pilots. And I'm looking at them going, they don't look like much. Why the high price? Well, I got one in my hands, and I realized the tolerances here are really tight, so there's no real slop to speak of, unlike my Lyman and my Hornady, which there are crude jokes in there, but we won't go there. I mean, this is my loosest one. It just moves a little bit, but it's still noticeable over the other ones. It's that good. So I decided, well, might as well get another one to trim cases. And while I'm at it, I might as well get one for every cartridge I shoot, because I'm going to shoot 4, and one is 9mm, so I'm not going to worry about that. We'll get back to that in a sec. So, got one for 223, one for 300 blackout, and Dima talked me into the 300 hammer. So, got one for hammer. Now, back to the jacket trimmer. You trim them after they've been annealed, and they're softer, easier to damage. Just send them a bunch of those, because that's still worst case scenario for a collet. They're easier to crush and damage. So, doesn't take much. Yeah, I haven't clamped it down in case I wanted to move it. It's in a lead bench plate. The holes are for screwdriver. So this thing mounts to a bench plate so it doesn't move. But it'll do okay without it. But, I mean, one hand, Ma, and we're making chips. One hand. I did tighten down the bench plate for this. Yeah. Really nice. Okay. It's been trimmed down a bunch of times. It's just a random length. I'm spinning that. And yeah. Very happy. That's consistent, beyond my wildest expectations. I'm ecstatic. It's gonna put the joy back in heavy bullets, because it was a little frustrating, and I just clean for ease of storage. I kind of got disillusioned. This will bring, a bit of joy back into it, because having them off makes the tips come out funny. Well, you look at some of the factory stuff, and it looks like it's made on a slope. These should come out really nice. Short of buying a meat plat trimmer, this should come out really not needing it. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, figure show you. It is trimming, and one hand operation versus where I had it before with a little acrylic clamp, and the hand would rock it a little bit. It'd get all uneven. Not horrible, but enough to make things just not right. Where this is going to be beautiful. So eventually, when I get other things sorted out, I'll get back into that, make like 77 grainers and stuff, and they come out really nice. Now I had to get a short base. They're 3/4 inch shorter than the standard one, but they're discontinued. Dima drilled new holes. I just didn't feel comfortable doing that, but that's an option. Save you the money. Like I said, these are discontinued. I got one new in the package for retail, so I want that route. So about $30. Now these things have 2 adjustments, so you can adjust them one way or the other independently. These are as close as they go, and the cutting blades will crash into that collet, so I keep a piece of brass in there so that doesn't happen. It's if this isn't adjusted and it's just free floats out to here, it'll crash. So 9mm, you can trim 9mm in this. I probably won't go that far, but you never rule things out, really. It will do pistol stuff, but that whole discontinued thing. Now, in the course of buying these on eBay, I ended up with everything I needed for all 4 of these. Though initially I bought this number 20 Pilot. Lo and behold, the last one I bought, you guessed it, came with a number 20 Pilot. If I drilled these, drilled the original base, and waited till the end, I would have had everything I needed. Now, these 3 are 223 parent cases, so 3 number 1 collets, 230 Pilots, 22 Pilot, and a 20 Pilot, and I got more stuff. So I came out ahead, and by the time I was done, I got about half the price invested. You got to watch for good examples, though, because a lot of them, the shaft is rusted, and the blades are part of that shaft, so you got to buy the whole thing. It's probably like $30. And some of them try to hide it. There was one, it's like, yeah, it looks pretty good, and then behind this adjustment, it was really bad. Like, it had never been adjusted and stored, and it had been exposed here to probably sweat and stuff, and it just was really bad. Of course, I needed to adjust, because they had it like really adjusted out pretty far. Whatever they were cutting was fairly long. So yeah, passed on that one. And then I should have bid on one. I was bidding on my last one. They had one. They had a short base. They said a long base. I don't know if it's standard or the actual. There is a long base. Bunch of Pilots, collets, everything, all in the original packaging. And I wonder what that went for. Probably a bargain for what all was included. I'll kick myself later because I got empty space here and it's just dying for another trimmer, you know, for another cartridge. Preferably something with a 223 parent case because free brass to convert. I'm thinking 6x45, but you may introduce me to that before you mentioned the hammer. I don't know, I'm up in the air with that. Of course, then there's a 6.5 and a 6.8 and a 223 parent case. It's like, oh, so many choices, and then there's other stuff too, but those are some, you know, things that I'm mulling over. Indecisive, but yeah, you know that empty space would bug you too. Admit it. And then, of course, you know, the power adapter, which I've used once or twice, but these things cut pretty good, and it's not all that necessary. But options, you know. And then to round it out, case prep here. Lyman's. These are a bit expensive. I already had one, and I found one on eBay for half price. It was like missing a pocket reamer or something. Big deal. All I want it for is deburr or chamfer and deburr. That's all I care about. Cut it for conversion. You know, give it a quick chamfer and deburr. Convert it, trim it, hit them again. It's all right there, and you know, convenient that way. And one thought I had is, okay, say you're going with a hand tool. You know, there's two pivot points to get it, you know, not square. With this, there's just the one. You're 50% better. But anyway, yeah. This has gotten a little out of hand, but I love it because it is just set and forget. These are adjusted right where I want them. And all I have to do is pick the right one. I label them to help avoid confusion. And slap it in there, trim it. No swapping collets or pilots or anything around, you know, on the same one and adjusting and getting the brass too short, or, you know, wasting all that time getting things just, no, just go. And in the end, it all hangs up as one unit. It's out of the way. And, yeah. eBay was my friend. Yeah, I did have to clean them up. Some of them are a little grubby. Take them apart. Some steel wool. Yeah. Some of them had stripped grub screws, so I had to get those out and replace those. They're cheap. It cost me $1 for like half a dozen of these long ones, and when I did the short base, I had to get. The other base had, it's a different style, it's like original, I think. Instead of the screws coming up through, well, here's where I'm glad I didn't screw it down. These screws are right here. The other one, they come all the way up through. So I had to buy new screws for that one. And they were a little long, but they were only too long in one side of the other. So one original screw and one of the new ones worked out. Just don't remember which one it was. I think this is plenty of depth, and this one is where I ran out of room. And it was only like, it's, you know, I don't think it was an 1/8 inch too long. Maybe an 1/8 inch too long. That instead, and the whole thing is a different design. Brothers. This one's this one's Forster, oh, crap. Begins with an A. A pelt. And these are just Forster products. So there's been some changes and mergers or whatever over the years. And yeah, this one, the one I changed was this oddball, the first one I bought. No biggie. I should have probably got some more of these screws. What I did is there's 2 length grub screws, and I forgot the short ones and only took a long one with me. But there is an upside to this. These clear, but if this strips, I can grip it with a pair of vice grips and remove it easier than if this one strips. So there's that. We're not talking high speed and balance is an issue, so you know, there's a lot more balance issue with like the RCBS 3-way trim head. Thinking 3-way trim heads, but they're like $90 for these. They actually go over the top of these cutters. Another advantage of the long grub screw here is if you need to remove the handle, either for power adapter or changing the shaft, whatever. Pretty much any trimmer, there's no way to grip the shaft and get the handle to unscrew. Think about it, you're always tightening that when you're trimming. And over time, it can be very difficult to remove. So, little piece of wood here for that to bind against. Off it comes. So, you know, a positive unintended side effect of using the long grub screws. It's definitely an advantage. So, yeah, little things, but all in all, I got about half the money invested in these as I would have setting up 4. You know, so not too bad. So yeah, maybe appealing to someone else, but if you shoot 20 or 30 different cartridges, maybe not so much. But maybe if you have only certain one, whatever you shoot most of, leave that, and then something you fiddle, don't do too often, have another one for that. It may be something worth considering, because this saves a lot of time having them just ready to go. A lot of time. Alright, well, this has gotten out of hand. Shorter than I thought, actually. Yeah. I'll leave you with that. Have a good one. God bless. See you.